Hello everybody and welcome to this macroeconomic video on unemployment. So, unemployment, as the opposite of employment, is the number of people out of work, so the number of people who don't have a job. And we have three different types of unemployment. Firstly, we have frictional unemployment in our top right. And frictional unemployment is short-term unemployment made up of people moving from one job to another. So an example would be teachers. Say for example somebody's teaching at a school and they see a job open up at another school, so they apply for that job and they get that job, but they only start that job at the beginning of the next school year and they finish their current job at the end of this school year. So for the summer holidays, the 6 weeks in between, they are counted as unemployed, even though they do have a job. It's just further ahead and they're waiting for it to begin. Another example would be contractors, so people who are contracted to do jobs. They might have a 2-week gap between two contracts, so they are counted as being frictionally unemployed, although they do really have a job, they're just waiting for it to begin. And because frictional unemployment is short-term unemployment, it is not serious in terms of the economy and economic growth. Next we have cyclical unemployment. It's also known as demand deficient or structural unemployment, and this is large scale and long-term unemployment caused by a bust on the business cycle. So when there's a bust on the business cycle, firms aren't selling as many goods, they aren't making as much profit, so therefore they need to cut their costs of production to try and make a profit. And one of the ways they do this is by making workers redundant. They lay workers off, and due to this these workers become unemployed or cyclically unemployed. And it is likely that these workers won't go and find other jobs because other businesses are doing bad as well. So say for example I work in a car factory and my car factory goes bust, so I now don't have a job anymore. It's likely that the other car companies will also be doing bad, so they won't be employing their factories locally. So therefore I will stay out of a job for a long period of time. And because this cyclical unemployment is long term, it's serious in terms of the economy and economic growth. And finally, in the bottom left, we have seasonal unemployment. And seasonal unemployment is when there is a low demand for labour at certain times of the year. So for example, in the agriculture or farming industry, it is likely that there will be a low demand for labour most of the year, but then there will be a high demand for labour when it's harvest time and when it's time to sow the crops. Also with construction, if at certain times of the year, for whatever reason, there's a low demand for new buildings, then there'll be a low demand for construction labour, so therefore there will be more workers seasonally unemployed. And the same with tourism. The tourist season tends to occur in the summer months, so outside of those months, workers who work specifically in the tourist industry tend to be seasonally unemployed.